little roll and say way up here in our clouds, we just have this enormous mountain. Boom! He's just out there to live forever. Bing, bang, boom. We slide him down. Maybe we come up over here and you're like, oh no, Josh, what happened to the treetop though? It's okay. We can always go back and put it in, or we can make him disappear completely. It's all up to us. Now, let's grab our 1-inch brush, just like that. Take this guy, pull the paint out, slide it down. You see how far you can go, and you can cut in front of this guy, or in our case, we want to leave him way off in the distance in the back. But you can do whatever you want with these brush strokes, right? How do you want your mountain to look? Maybe you want your little side right here. You got a little ridge. Just pull it down like that in this direction. Maybe come off of that guy, pulling him down in the other direction. Now you've got a little mountain starting to come together. Maybe these guys are very vertical, because if you just pulled it over here, it would look weird, right? So maybe that guy's a very vertical little streak straight down, just a cliff coming down like that, right? All up to us what we want it to look like. Remember, this guy's coming over here. Maybe that guy starts rolling off in the other side, falling off in that direction. Boom, 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 boom. You got these whole little things just starting to live and grow wherever we put them. There's a whole nother ridge right there, right? What happened if this guy came down and hit and started to fly across, cut in front of this whole thing, blend them together until they look right, right? Boom, boom, boom. We're starting to build this enormous mountainous mass. And I like to have it be a little bit more crazy and peaky and weird looking, right? I don't like it to be such a straight thing that you can just tell. Yeah, I just don't like that. There we go. That's much better. But again, we're going to have to blend these guys same as we did before. So we're going to pull them down, pull them down, pull them down, pull them down, pull them down. Don't have to touch every single bit of every mountain. Now you got your guy coming in that way. Got your ridge going out that way. Whole little things are starting to happen over here, guys. All right, take this thing. Maybe there's a whole bit of mountain that feeds down off the back side of it. And it starts pulling back over here and blending it and blending it and blending it until it's just very, very, very light colored down there, right? Poof, we just stuck a mountain 10 miles off in the distance. Super easily like that, right? Come over here, grab a little bit of our white, a little touch of our Prussian blue, just a little bit. And let's mix that guy up over here and we'll create these gorgeous snowy shadows. Now, if you don't have enough blue, it's not going to be blue enough, right? It won't be dark enough blue. And remember, scrape all the way down to the bottom to get that bit of white. Now, what are we all going to go do right after this stream? We're all going to go check out the Glitterwix show. She does an awesome candle pouring show that you all need to be there and watch. Take a little of our darkness, put it right into that blue, mix it all up till you get all those crazy colors, right? Bam, that's a little bit too much right there. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it until you can't see too much of anything. Bang, just like so, okay? Now, we're going to come into here and we're going to decide maybe all of our light was casting down upon our mountains this way, in which case our bluey little shadow bits are going to slide down very lightly. We'll have this bit of snowiness back in here. Maybe some of these little peaks, maybe off the back side, they might catch a little snow. Maybe drop down, maybe a piece will be light and a piece will be dark. Who knows? Maybe grab it up here and just whip it down. Very light little pressure. You can see it's not a super bright blue. It kind of stands very close to what the mountain color is. And that way it's not overpoweringly bright. Right? Come up here where our little ridges were. Pop, pop, pop. Throw some of our blue off down the side is all we really need, guys. That's literally it. A couple little shadows in there. We'll light up the rest with white. And what are we not going to do? Cover up all of that dark color. Right? There needs to be places in there that have that darkness, and if you do end up covering them, you can go back in and add more, but it's not always the easiest thing to do to add those dark shadowy bits, so try not to cover them all. It's a lot easier thing. Do too many and it's going to look weird, right? So let's come back. We're going to grab our white, probably about double the amount that we had for on our first go, and one little bit of the blue that we had created, not our pure blue, otherwise that's going to make it our shadow color. Right, we use that blue that we created, which is already a super thin down bit of bright, bright, bright blue. Now when we mix it with white, it'll be even brighter and stand as the snow for our shadowy highlights back there, right? So pull down a little bit of our snow, get it up onto our knife, come up here, straight down like a waterfall, just however you want it to look. Man, they can start looking really neat. I never like them to be perfectly straight. or have too many little things that are exactly the same. So leave some dark areas, leave some streaks where there's not a whole, overly saturated bit of brightness in there. That's not what you want to do. Drag them down, little things, right? Sometimes the straight lines aren't the most prettiest looking, so add a bit of brightness up there. Maybe a little touch on our guy back in here. It started to fade down into nothing. Grab up this guy, light him up off the side. Boom, boom, boom. How far do you want it to go? Totally up to you. We get to decide. Doesn't have to be the most straightest thing. Doesn't have to be the most crisp lines or anything, because it's nature, man. That's why I chose to be a landscape artist versus, a portrait artist or somebody who does pets. Like, that's too much perfection for me. I can't have it be so perfect. I gotta have some weirdness to my stuff. You know what I mean? So can you. You don't have to have it be the same thing that other people paint or whatever, right? As we get out there into that shadow, make sure there are much more horizontal streaks across. And I think right there, guys, we got a pretty cool looking mountain, just if you ask me. Little things, little bits, little differences, so it's not just the straightest line up to the tip top of our peak. This cool little thing, right? They don't all have to be the same. Bam. Little bits where the light's trying to reach over the edge. Very neat. Very neat. Now, like I said, you can even come up along the backside and drop in some of those dark little spots, but don't add too many. It takes away from our bright blue. All right, now let's grab our 2-inch brush. Whoop. Hang on, one more time. That's better. Throw it up like that. Come over here and just very lightly, and I'm talking about so lightly, like touching the side of a sleeping baby's face, just so soft, right? Come in there like that. Come over here. Maybe we're going to go straight up because we came straight down, right? These guys, they were going over a little to the side. These guys pretty vertical. You don't have to go all the way to the top. And now look, we're on the other side, and we need to come at it from the other way. You can't just keep going up this way. If we came down with our knife, you need to go up with your knife. If we came down with your knife this way, you need to go up with your brush that way. All very, very, very gently. Bob always said like 3 hairs and some air. He wasn't kidding. Very, very small amount of paint is all you need. Right? Now we go from that very light touch to a very hard smashing. Now over here, I was just going to say, over here I'm going to be careful because I don't want to get too much white into my... That kind of looks like it might be a cool place for a waterfall. Ooh. Guys. I'm like standing back there. Guys, what are we doing? That just, no. But in any case, don't get too much of your brightness down into your darkness. It'll be too hard to bring back, right? As we're tapping down, just like a little cloud, and like our downward angles with our knife, we're going down in the same way, not trying to make everything look the same and not having it on the same line, right? It's not just straight across at the bottom. It's got to be all weird. Now this looks, it's like it's too bright right here, so I'm just going to tap at it a couple times just to dull it down. That's a little bit better. I like that a little bit better. It's just too bright. Now watch, as we get around the point of the mountain, you see how my brush kind of turned angles, and now we're over here, and we're tapping down, we're getting some of that snowy blue, and we're turning it into misty fog. That's all we're doing. The more times we tap, the more mistiness it turns into. All around, now you got this floating mountain way off in the distance, especially when we mix these guys in. Where does the mountain stop? Where does the sky begin, right? Like, what happened? We created all this gorgeous mist. Now, as we come in here, the more that we mist it up into that dark area, the harder it's going to be to crisscross over it. Doesn't it look like there's like beams of light just coming down, shining down through the trees behind these guys? All because we drug it down like that, right? Having those lights come down. So cool. Little things we can do. So tell me, guys, where are you watching from? What's your favorite sandwiches? And this guy's coming together pretty neatly, if you ask me. Now, luckily for you guys, Mac, the great Mac Attack, came in and purchased this painting before it was even started.